What if I told you that once you reach a $100,000 investment balance, you are already 1/3 of the way to becoming a millionaire, mathematically? According to Federal Reserve data, most Americans never reach that $100,000 barrier. But the real wealth surge happens just after. If you have ever felt stuck, watching your money barely budge, here is the truth, say. Waiting even a single year to start investing can cost you over $10,000 in lost future growth at just an 8% return. Why? Because compound interest is not linear. It accelerates after the first big milestone. In the next 25 minutes, I am breaking down why $100,000 is the magic threshold, the math behind each dollar you invest, and the exact 3-step journey used by the world's most consistent wealth builders. Ready to see how small, smart choices today stack up to 7 figures tomorrow? Let's dive into the numbers, guys. Let's get real about wealth. If you have ever opened your investment account, stared at the balance, and questioned if you are really getting anywhere, trust me, you are not alone. Maybe you have managed to tuck away a few $1,000s. Maybe after years of grinding, you are staring at $20,000 or even $30,000. Wherever you are, that $1 million milestone can feel impossibly far off. Almost like running a marathon and realizing you have barely left the starting line. But here is a number most people miss. If you reach $100,000 invested, you are not 1/10 of the way to $1 million. You are actually more than 1/3 of the way there, thanks to compound interest. This is not wishful thinking. The Fidelity Millionaire Outlook study and Federal Reserve data both confirm that $100,000 is the barrier most investors never cross, but also the point when returns truly accelerate. Before we break out the spreadsheet and run real numbers, let's myth bust how most people see building wealth. The average person imagines it is a straight line. Every dollar saved is a dollar closer to the goal. So if you save $10,000, you are $10,000 closer. Hit $50,000, you are halfway to $100,000. But that is only true if your money just sits in cash. Once you put your dollars to work in investments, the whole game changes. The math turns exponential. Here is a critical truth. Most would-be investors throw in the towel just before things get good. They check their balance after a few years, see what looks like slow growth, and think, if it took me 5 years to save $20,000, how will I ever hit $1 million? If money was linear, they would be right. But investing flips the script. Done right, your money works as hard as you do. Those dollars earn interest, I say. That interest earns interest, and, over time, compound growth does the heavy lifting. Albert Einstein, maybe, called this the 8th wonder of the world. But whether or not those words were his, the fact stands. Those who understand compounding can build life-changing wealth. Those who do not can work forever and never see real progress. Let's break the journey to $1 million into a simple 3-step framework. Each step is a milestone, backed by hard data and the habit patterns of actual millionaires tracked by studies from Vanguard and Fidelity. Step 1. Building momentum. From $0 to $100,000, imagine setting up an automatic investment. $100 every week, about $400 each month. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that is less than what most households spend on entertainment and eating out. At an average annual return of 8%, a conservative rate. Fidelity finds the U.S. stock market averaged around 10% over the last century. Let's see how long this first step takes. Hitting the first $100,000 takes 12 years. I know, 12 years sounds like forever, but let me put it into perspective. The years pass whether you invest or not. Next thing you know, you will be looking back, asking where the time went. During the first 12 years, you are doing most of the heavy lifting yourself. Of your $100,000, approximately $62,000 will come out of your pocket. The other $38,000, that is pure investment growth. Compound interest finally starting to show up. Pause for a second. If you have ever felt like this journey is impossible, drop a rocket emoji in the comments so I know you are ready to break through. Here is a critical mindset shift. This step feels slow because most of the money is from you. It will be tempting to give up, but understand. Almost everyone who builds real wealth stays the course through these early, thankless years. To see what this looks like in real life, let's meet Sarah, a composite case study based on the journey of thousands of savers tracked by Fidelity and Vanguard. Sarah started investing at 25, putting aside $100 a week into a simple index fund. By her third year, she had only amassed about $16,000 and almost quit. Her friends were buying new cars and upgrading apartments. Sarah was meal prepping to save. But by the time she hit her 12th year, her investments tipped past $100,000. That breakthrough was not just financial. It changed how she saw every dollar. Now every pay raise became more fuel for investing. Every impulse buy looked more expensive. And her long-term goals actually felt within reach. Before we move to step 2, here is a curiosity loop. What comes after the first $100,000? If you think it is just more slow slogging, you are in for a huge surprise. Step 2. Accelerating growth. From $100,000 to $200,000. Here is where compounding gets spicy. It took Sarah 12 years to hit $100,000. Guess how long to double that? Using the same exact $100 per week. Only 6 more years and that is right. The second $100,000 comes in half the time. Now her account sits at $200,000 after 18 years. Let's run the numbers. Sarah's total contributions have climbed to about $94,000. But her account shows $200,000. That is $106,000 from investment returns. Finally, her money is working harder than she is. This is not a fluke. Fidelity's 2023 Consumer Wealth Report shows that once investors cross the 6-figure mark, average annual growth outpaces their own contributions. The snowball effect has kicked in. Stopping before $100,000 is like quitting a marathon at mile 20. You have already done the hardest part. Compound interest does the heavy lifting. Once you cross $100,000, your money can grow faster than you did. Screenshot that because it is one of the most important mindsets in wealth. At this point, something psychological shifts for most people. Sarah, for example, started to see $10,000 and up in annual gains. Numbers that felt truly real. After years of feeling like every dollar was a drop in the ocean, suddenly each month brought visible progress. This is when habit formation cements. It feels thrilling every time the market goes up. Terrifying when it dips. But overall, your wealth is compounding faster and faster. Keep watching, because in the next section you will see why the last stretch to $1 million is even more mind-blowing, and what most people get wrong about it. Step 3. Compounding to 7 figures. From $200,000 to $1 million. Here is the real kicker. From $200,000, Sarah kept her $100 per week habit. Over the next 18 years, her account did not just inch upwards. It exploded past $1 million. By year 36, her contributions totaled roughly $187,000. But her investment balance crossed the $1 million mark. More than 80% of her wealth came, not from saving, but from growth. Put into practical terms, she started seeing gains approaching $80,000 a year, more than most people's annual salaries, without changing a thing. Imagine that for a moment. In the time it took to build her first $100,000, Sarah could now make almost that much every year in investment growth alone. Let's hit pause for a quick milestone recap. Step 1, 0 to $100,000. About 12 years. Around $62,000 in contributions. Step 2. $100,000 to $200,000. 6 more years. Total around $94,000 contributed. Step 3. $200,000 to over $1 million. 18 more years. Around $187,000 contributed as you cross each threshold. Your money works harder and time bends in your favor. But there is one big mistake most people make at this point. They stop increasing their contributions. Do not settle. Take every raise bonus or side hustle dollar and feed the beast. Compound interest rewards consistency and growth. If you want the free milestone tracker spreadsheet that maps out your path from $1,000 to $1 million, just type tracker below and I will send it your way. This tool uses every number in today's walkthrough so you can see exactly where you stand and what your next breakthrough will look like. Now, before we move further, let's address some objections. The kind that keep 80% of future millionaires stuck at step 1. What about inflation? Market crashes. What if you can barely afford $25 a week, let alone $100? Let's tackle inflation first. The 8% return used throughout these calculations is already inflation adjusted. Historically, the U.S. stock market has delivered around 10% annually before inflation, and about 7 to 8% after. I prefer to run the numbers conservatively, using real inflation and fee-adjusted returns. So you are not planning your future based on best-case scenarios. Source: Fidelity, Vanguard, and the Federal Reserve. How about market downturns? According to Vanguard's research, the average bear market lasts about 13 months and recovers within 3 years. When you invest regularly, downturns let you buy more shares on sale. In fact, the 2008 crash was brutal for anyone who panicked and sold. But those who kept investing saw record gains during the recovery. The trick is to never invest money you will need in the next 5 years, and to keep your long-term vision clear, not financial advice. These examples are for educational purposes only. Always consult a professional before investing. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Now let's talk about finding that $100 per week. I hear this from viewers all the time. John, I would love to invest, but I can barely scrape together $50 after rent and bills. I believe you, but let's check the numbers. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average U.S. household spends over $600 per month on food, including groceries and dining out. Could you reduce that by 25% with meal prepping, smarter grocery lists, and fewer restaurant trips? That alone could free up $150 a month. Or look at transportation. The average monthly car payment in the U.S. is now $700. If you bought used and cut that in half, you would have $350 per month. More than enough to invest weekly with room to spare. The point is not deprivation. It is conscious trade-offs. You do not have to eat instant noodles or drive a 20-year-old car. You just need to be intentional with where your money goes. The difference between someone who crosses $100,000 and someone who does not is almost always small spending decisions made over time. Drop a comment below. What is the single most frustrating thing about saving or investing for you right now? Let's get real and support each other in the comments. The psychology of investing matters more than pure math. When your investment account starts growing by $1,000, then $10,000 per year, it becomes genuinely addictive in a good way. That momentum motivates you to optimize elsewhere. Whether it is investing part of your tax refund, bumping up your weekly contribution when you get a raise, or even launching a small side hustle. In fact, according to Charles Duhigg's The Power of Habit, seeing progress is the strongest motivator for sticking to new habits. As your balance compounds, investing shifts from feeling like a sacrifice to being one of the most rewarding decisions you make. Now, let's hit a quick pattern break for a myth-busting segment. Myth number 1. Investing is only for people who already have money, and in reality, 80% of U.S. millionaires are first generation. According to Fidelity, they built wealth from modest middle-class beginnings, not trust funds. Myth number 2. If I did not start young, it is too late now. Actually, Vanguard studies show people who start investing at any age, even 40s or 50s, can build six-figure accounts with steady contributions and an employer match. The key is to focus on what you can control: contributions, fees, and your ability to sit tight during downturns. Myth number 3. Picking the right stocks is everything. Nope. The S&P 500 index, which simply tracks the largest U.S. companies, has averaged over 10% per year for nearly a century. According to Fidelity, More than 80% of actively managed funds underperform the index over 15 years. Past performance is not a guarantee of future returns. Investing always carries risk. Back to Sarah. As her account topped $200,000, she started opening new doors. She had the flexibility to take a lower-paying but more meaningful job. Since her investments kept growing regardless, when an opportunity to invest in a friend's business appeared, she could afford to take a reasonable risk, not because of luck, but because of a decade of careful habits. Question for you. How old were you when you made your first investment? Share below. Let's see who started youngest. Remember, the habits that build your first $100,000 are the same habits that will build your first million. That means budgeting, automating investments, ignoring market noise, and always paying yourself first. Consider using tools like Mint, YNAB, or Personal Capital to track and optimize your contributions. Many of my subscribers download the free milestone spreadsheet. Just type tracker below, and use it with these tools to visualize progress every month. So what about after you hit $1 million? Does the acceleration keep going? Absolutely. If Sarah kept up her pace, by year 45 she would cross $2 million. And annual investment gains alone could exceed $160,000. At that stage, her money is earning more every year than most people's full-time jobs. The opportunity cost of waiting even 1 year at the start. Over $10,000 and up in future wealth, thanks to compounding. Make today your first small step. To recap, here is the 3-step path to millionaire status. 1. Build momentum. Commit to automated weekly investing, even if it feels painfully slow. This is how you cross $100,000 and develop millionaire habits. 2. Accelerate growth. Watch as your returns start snowballing, outpacing your own contributions. Stay consistent, increase contributions with every raise, and always invest windfalls. 3. Compound to 7 figures and beyond. Hold steady through market ups and downs, keep costs low, stay diversified, and let time work its magic. According to Vanguard's 2024 report, those who stick with this process, even without fancy investments or huge salaries, outperform 80% of market timers and stock pickers. Remember, boring consistency beats exciting speculation almost every single time. The secret sauce is not picking hot stocks or swinging for home runs. It is relentless, steady investing in broad low-fee funds, plus the discipline to delay gratification for a better future. If you want a copy of the Milestone Tracker spreadsheet, type tracker below. I will get it to you personally. Share this video with a friend who is struggling to save. And let's build a community of future millionaires together. Subscribe and hit the bell if you want to retire a millionaire. And remember, every year you wait is costing you thousands in lost wealth. Start today, not financial advice, and this video is for educational and informational purposes only. Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk, so always consult a licensed advisor to find what is right for you. Let's recap. The $1 million journey is a 3-step process. Build momentum through consistent contributions, accelerate growth as compounding takes over, and sustain the process all the way to 7 figures. Your first $100,000 might feel slow, but it is the hardest, most transformational step. After that, your money does more and more of the work. Here is what you can do right now. This week, set up or raise your automated investment. Even $25 or $50 per week is a great start. In the next 30 to 90 days, audit your spending on food, transportation, or subscriptions and see what can be redirected into investing. Over the next 6 to 12 months, track your growth with the Milestone spreadsheet. Just type tracker below and make a plan to increase contributions with every raise, sets, and bonus. Or windfall, if you stick with the plan, you will see your first $100,000 likely within 10 to 12 years at $100 per week. Even faster by boosting contributions or capturing employer matches. After that, each milestone comes sooner. $200,000 in just 6 more years. $1 million in another 18. If you want to see the full math for your own scenario, do not forget the spreadsheet download. Early in the journey, drop a rocket emoji in the comments if you are ready to break through. When you hit a milestone, come back and tell us. If you need the tracker, type tracker, and I will send it directly. Do not forget to screenshot the most powerful lines and share with a friend. It will help anchor these lessons. To really master this journey, subscribe to Money Masters and enable notifications. I am breaking down the best funds, risk management tips, and mindset shifts in the next video. What money question do you want answered next? Leave it below. I answer top questions in every episode. And finally, remember, this is not financial advice. Investing is risky, past performance is not a guarantee, and your results will vary. Talk to a licensed financial advisor before making investment decisions.